I am drawing India first here. India. See, this is Pamir. Pamir. Look at Pamir. North of India. Same map. Same map. Asia map. North of India. Here, physical map. Pamir. This side, Hindu Kush. Hindu Kush. This side, Karakoram, Ladakh, Jaskar, Greater Himalayas. Himalayas. The Shivaliks. See, I am marking Himalayas here. Locate Kailash. Locate Mount Kailash. Himalayas, Kailash. No writing, only you have to see the atlas first. Kulun Shan. Tain Shan. Okay, see here. This is all Himalayas now. This is Tibet. Tibet. Tibet is a plateau. Tibetan plateau. Start from the Himalayas, go up to Tain Shan, China. Here is Kirtar Suleiman range. Kirtar Suleiman in Pakistan. Here. This is all Indian plate boundary. This is all Indian plate boundary. Indian plate is up to here. Kirtar Suleiman. Hindu Kush. Hindu Kush. Pamir. Okay. Kulun Tain Shan. Tibet. Himalayas. Notice the boundary of Indian plate. According to the boundary of the Indian plate, the mountains are folded. What was the shape of Indian plate? I told you shape was like this. Correct na? I told you Indian plate was like this, rhombus shaped. Along the boundary only the mountains are folded. That is the reason you can see here it's Burma. Burma side here. Burma plate. Indian plate is colliding with Burma plate. Remember yesterday I told you Burma plate? This is Eurasian plate here. Eurasian plate. This is Indian plate here. This is Persian plate here. Persian. Notice this please, all of you. India is surrounded by many plates. Eurasian in the north, Persian plate this side, Burma this side. When Indian plate collided with all these three, the mountains were formed along the edges. So that is the reason the mountains look like this. All this was one country earlier. Forget the border for a while. Okay. It was like this earlier. Before partition. Correct? All this is the Indian plate. Okay, along the boundary, starting from Pakistan, Afghanistan border, all the way up to Burma. Okay. Okay. So now you notice here how Himalayas look like. Kulun Shan, Tain Shan, Pamir. Now, here the mountains are turning here. You notice this. Here also mountains are turning like this. Notice these two corner. Why? Because the Indian plate boundary collides with the Burma here. Indian plate collides with the Burma plate. Along the boundary, the mountains are formed. I just told you now. That is the reason here, since this is the boundary, the sediments turn like the mountains turn like this along the boundary of Indian plate with Burma plate. So this kind of bend is called as syntaxial bend. Right? Syntaxial bend बोलते हैं इसको. Syntaxial bend. यहाँ पे भी है. This is also syntaxial bend. This is western syntaxial bend. Eastern syntaxial bend. Western and eastern syntaxial bend. So along the boundary of the Indian plate, the sediments are folded, mountains are formed. So the mountains are also appear to have bent on the edges. Okay. I'll write that theory here. Along the boundary of the Indian plate, mountains are formed. Mountains are formed. As a result, we have syntextual bends, eastern and western. I'll wait for you all to write. Who turned on? Syntextual bend looks like an elbow. In simple English, elbow. Like, okay, imagine somebody standing like this with their hand on the hip. Like this is the elbow. Elbow bend, ye wala. Okay. Syntextual. So this bend causes the rocks, mountains to bend along the boundary of the plate. I'll tell you why it is important now. So Pamir and Tibet are called as roof of the world. Roof. RWF. Roof. Means like upper part of the building is called as what? Roof. Roof of the world. Because they are the highest plateau. 4,000 meter. 4,500 meter is the height of what? Pamir and Tibet. They are called as third pole. North pole is Arctic. South pole is Antarctic. Third pole is this. Because they receive very high snowfall. Very high snowfall where? Here. Pamir and Tibet. So the third highest snowfall takes place in Pamir and Tibet. Himalayas. So the word Hima means snow. Alaya means home. Home of snow. Okay. What is Himalaya means? Hima means snow. Alaya means home. Home of snow. Shall I continue? Done? Clear to all? Notice this please now. This is one syntextual bend, this is one syntextual bend here, where the rocks turn down, mountains turn down. Notice this here. This is Mount Kailash. Mount Kailash is a source of Indus River. Okay, it takes birth here. Mount Kailash mein Indus River takes birth. Here all of you, all eyes on the board. The river takes birth here and flows like this. Between Ladakh and Jaskar range. This is Ladakh, Jaskar. Flows here. As it comes here, we get mountains. I told you, rocks are bent like this. So river turns here south and flows into Arabian Sea. All of you got it? Why the river flowing westwards like this through the mountains suddenly turns south? Because of the Hindu Kush. This is syntextual bend. Rocks are aligned like this. So river turns it according to the slope. Rivers always follow slope. Slope of the rocks. Slope of the land. Got it all of you? That is the reason Indus flows like this. Then turns south. You notice, check Indus. See Indus now. Some extent it goes like this. Correct. Suddenly it turns southward. I have written the mountain name also. Ladakh and Jaskar. Ladakh range, Jaskar. Okay, are the ranges. In between the river flows. In between these two ranges, river flows. And Leh. Leh is the capital of Ladakh. Located on which river? Indus. Okay. One more interesting river I'll talk about. There is a glacier here in the Kailash, Mount Kailash, Anshi Glacier bolke. Okay. Don't worry, I'll tell you again, all this will come again in Indian geography. Here, notice this. Anshi Glacier se ek river aa raha hai, dekho. This river. Like this. Flows almost parallel to the mountains here. These rivers flow parallel to mountains. This is called as Sangpo River. Sangpo River. All of you notice please. This river flows parallel to the mountains till here. Where the rocks turn south, Allah, the river also enters India now. Bihang. And this becomes Brahmaputra. Brahmaputra here. Clear to all? Brahmaputra.